When the cameras rode and the lights were bright, Angel didn't rise. She flubbed hard, and not just metaphorically. We are talking 9 turnovers, multiple missed layups, off-target passes that landed somewhere in a third row, and oh yeah, a literal flop that had fans wonder if she thought she was in a Broadway audition instead of basketball game. This wasn't just a bad game, this was performance art masquerading as elite athleticism, a meltdown in 4 quarters, a masterclass in chaos. If you're here for the real story and not filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. And internet, oh, they ate it up. Let's be clear, Angel resists no stranger to the spotlight. She's been branded as that girl, gritty, glamorous, unapologetic, dripping in confidence. She came into the league riding a tidal wave of new money, college hype, and enough meat. Yeah, headlines to make a car-dashing jealous. ESPN can't stop talking about her Instagram live for a courtside fits, and the WNBA, they've been subtly and sometimes not so subtly push her as a new phase of the league. But here's the thing about hype, it's only cute when it matches the performance. And what happened on that court wasn't cute, it was a full-blown clown show. Now, look, every player has an off night, every rookie stumbles. But what we just witnessed, that wasn't stumble, that was a 48-minute trust fall when no one there. That catcher, 9 turnovers. Let that sink in. 9, that's not just nerves or bad luck, that a fundamental breakdown is the kind of stat line that makes coaches one called timeout just cry, the kind that makes teammates start looking anywhere else on the floor when they need a bucket. And what made it worse, the rebounds. Yes, Angel put up double-digit boards. But when you actually watch the film, a lot of those rebounds came off her own missed shots. We're talking 3-4 attempts in a single possession, padding the stats without producing points. You know what that is? Stat fishing is that sneaky kind of inefficiency. We look productive on the box score, but completely derail your team's flow, and fans, they're catching on fast. Because basketball, like you, matters. Decision-making matters. Knowing when to pass, when to drive, when to not launch an awkward fade away in transition, that matters. An Angel, she's out here playing like she's still in a college highlight reel. Let's talk about that flop. You've seen it by now. The slow motion collapse, the dramatic arms, the delayed reaction that was so fake it made WW look like a documentary. Fans, when savage online memes drop within minutes, one user code the worst flaw op in WNBA history, and honestly hard to argue. You could almost hear the ref rolling their eyes. Now here's where it gets really messy. This wasn't just a bad game, it was a mirror, and what it reflected wasn't flattering. It exposed something deeper about the machine behind Angel Reese, the branding, the marketing, the curated image of basketball savior wrapped in designer labels and IG filters. Because when the shine fades, all that's left is your game, and right now the game of matching the promo. Let's break it down. Her teammates, they started adapting around her, and not in a good way. You can see it, the way the ball avoid her in critical moments, the subtle shift in spacing, the hesitation before passing into the wing. These aren't as tactical adjustments, they're survival instincts. When your own squad start limiting your touches to minimize the chaos, that's a red flag. And then there's the coaching staff. What exactly is the plan here? Are they protecting her ego or hoping she just figures it out mid-game? Because right now the game plan looks like throw Angel out there and pray she does implode. Spoiler, she imploded. But the real conversation, the uncomfortable one nobody want to have, is about the media. Because the media willed Angel Reese into stardom. They decided she was a future before the draft, before the workouts, before the stats. They fed fans a narrative of dominance and disruption, of changing the game and reshaping the culture. And to be fair, that's it. Compelling story. Angel is magnetic, she's bold, she's marketable, she speaks her mind. But you can't dribble media hype, and when the hype outpaces the fundamentals, you get moments like this. A nationally televised train wreck with the most talked about rookie becomes a punchline. It's giving cautionary tale. Look, none of this is personal. Angel Reese clearly wanted to be great, but the harsh truth is that wanting it doesn't matter if your footwork is sloppy, your passes are late, and your decisions put your team in jeopardy. Confidence without control is just chaos. And Angel, she is deep in or chaotic era. That doesn't mean he is doomed, but it does mean the people around her need to stop shielding her from criticism and start giving it the tough love she clearly needs. Because at some point the league stuff, forgiving your rookie mistakes At some point your teammates stop nodding politely, at some point the hype train runs out of gas. And all that's left is your ability to actually play basketball. The problem isn't that Angel Reese is struggling. The problem is that no one seems willing to admit that she is. This is what happens when marketing get ahead of development, when flash overshadow fundamentals, when we crown players before they've earned it. And make no mistake, Angel Reese can earn it, but not if she keeps pretending like nothing's wrong, not have a narrative keep shielding her from accountability, not as she keeps prioritize and the moment over mechanics beat. Because this league, it will humble you fast. Ask any WNBA vet. They'll tell you the transition from college star to pro is brutal. You can fake it. You either grow where you get exposed. And Angel, she just got exposed. So where does she go from here? That the pen. Is she ready to listen, to grind, to unlearn the bad habit and rebuild and the ground up? Or is she got to double down on a drama? Keep chasing highlight plays and hope the media spin keep the receipt buried, because the memes are already here. The whispers have started in fans. They're not buying the hype anymore now, unless the games start backing it up. So what you think, is Angel Reese still the future of the WNBA? Or we watch any early warning signs of career built more on attention than action? Drop your take in the comments. Who's holding her back? Her coaches, the media, or herself? And make sure you subscribe, because of this is how chaotic her rookie season going. Just imagine what's coming next. The spotlight not going anywhere, but neither is the pressure. The league doesn't care about your Instagram following. It doesn't care how many headlines you've gotten, how viral your college highlight went, or how many brands are lining up to throw you sponsorships. The WNBA is built on results, on grip, on execution, and for all her career's member Vado Angel resist learning painfully publicly that this ain't Baton Rouge anymore. This is a pros, and here you either deliver or you get exposed, and right now she's being exposed. And let's talk about the mental game, because it's not just her footwork or her decision making that crumbling, it's her composure. One missed layup turns into three, a single turnover snowballs into complete breakdown in communication. You can see it, feel it in her body language, the hands on hips, the delay transition back on defense, the eye rolls when a teammate doesn't throw a perfect pass. The vibe, it trickles down. And it's contagious, just not in the way you want. A great player doesn't just put up points, they elevate the team, they keep the wheels turning, they lift the bench energy, they lead through chaos. Not created an Angel, she's still stuck into belief that charisma equals leadership. It doesn't. Leadership is built in the trenches. It's built when you mess up on it and hustle back when you don't get the call, but you still get to stop when you pull your teammate aside, not to school them on camera, but to reconnect. And none of that been on display lately. What we're seeing instead is the classic case of bread ran over basketball, the signature hair flip, the viral trash talk, decide eyes, the soft launches, emerge lines, and curated tic-tacs showing her grinding. And hey, good for her. Secure the bag, build your empire. No one's mad at that. But you can't expect legacy. You're not delivering substance. You don't become a legend because you have the most marketable. You become one because you dominated. And domination requires details, discipline, fundamentals, which again are all suspiciously missing from Angel's game right now. Let's go back to the turnover verse, because 9 is insane. You don't get to 9 by accident. That's not just a few bad passes. That's systemic. That a player who doesn't know where her teammates are, who doesn't know when to slow down, when to reset, when to stop playing hero ball. You can almost hear thinking mid-play, like you try and turn the action into a viral clip, and when that your goal, you lose the game. Basketball is not a highlight reel in the rhythm, and right now Angel Reason's dribbling out of sync with her own team. There were moments, painful, glaring moments, where teammates literally avoid giving her the ball now. Because she's bad, but because she's become unpredictable, a human turnover machine, and in the playoffs or against actual title contenders that will get you benched fast. And if the coaches are willing to sit her now when it's obvious she's hurting the team, what does that say? Are we prioritize and Velma? Or are we prioritizing a marketing strategy? Because let's be honest, a lot of people in the league want Angel to succeed. She's charismatic, she's bold, she's ratings machine. But if they're shielding her from criticism in the name of visibility, they're doing her, an entire league, a disservice. Because fans are smart, they can see through inflated stat lines. They know when a rebound is just a missed shot you got back. Because nobody box you out, they can tell when a double-double is just noise if it didn't help your team win, and worse, they're starting to turn what used to be fun-loving banner online and has become mockery clips or flop are now stitched into reaction videos. Editor, her missed layups have been set the circus music. It's brutal. And while that level of hey isn't fair, it is telling, because once the public narrative shift from rookie with promise to liability on the floor, it's hard to get that back, especially if you're not willing to change. And Angel Reese doesn't look like she's changing. She's still showing up with the same swagger, still posting inspirational captions after games where she got cooked, still giving off that I'm unbothered energy, while league quietly start building game planned around or weaknesses. There's still time. She's still rookie, but the clock is ticking. And if she doesn't start doing the work, and we mean real work, not vibes and IG workouts, the net clutch gonna run out faster than she thinks. Because here's the truth, charisma will get you drafted, height will get you far, lawyers, but only basketball keep you on the court. And as of right now, Angel Reese is dangerously close to be remembered more for her tic-tacs than her trophies. So what's next? Does she take the criticism seriously? Does she go back to the basics, watch film, improve, or decision making build actual chemist? Reese with her team cut the turnovers and stop forcing every play like she's trying to make a highlight mixtape? Or does she keep leaning into spectacle? Because here's the difference between legends and footnotes. Legends listen, footnotes scroll past feedback. Right now, Angel Reason's at a crossroads. And the league is watching her, fans are watching, the haters are definitely watching. The only question left is she say what you will about Angel, about her footwork, her flops, her frustratingly inconsistent game. She's at something you can't teach, presence, star power, that kind of, or that makes cameras follow her, whether she is dominating or detonating. The problem is right now that stars flickering, and everyone, fans, critics, teammates, coaches, is just waiting to see if she can stabilize before burned out completely. And let's be honest, the media wants her to rise. The WNBA needs more breakout personalities, more household names, more women who don't is play the game, but own the spotlight. But here's the uncoverable part nobody wants to admit. You can PR spin your way through a box score, you can out-talk bad defense, you can go viral enough to cover up 9 turnovers, you can't rebrand poor shot selection, you have to get better, period. And you can see it in the body language of her teammates, how they started adjusting their spacing when she's on the floor, how the ball moves more freely when she sits, how when she farmers possession or style the off and they don't rush to up live, either they just reset quietly like they're working around an inconvenient truth that the player they were told would lead them might be holding them back. That's not an easy pill to swallow, especially for a locker room that's trying to build trust, that's trying to create momentum. Because every time Angel Reese lobbed and a balanced jumper into the ether or commits another unforced turnover is not just a bad possession and a vote of no confidence in the system. And if you're your coach, we even do you bench her, and you're the villain, you let her play through it, and you risk losing a game in the locker room is a no-win situation. Unless Angel takes control of our own development, unless she decides what the game first, before the brand, before the noise, before the narrative. The frustrating part is that it all there, you can see flashes of it, the physicality, the tenacity, the occasional offensive board she ripped down like she's angry at the rim itself. If she has a foundation of a dominant player, but you know what separates raw potential from actual greatness? Humility. Not the Instagram caption kind, the real kind, the kind that shows up at 6 a.m. when no one's watching, the kind that accept criticism without tweeting cryptic quotes later, the kind that understand that maybe, just maybe, you're not quite the play the media said you were yet. The WNBA doesn't need another viral moment, it needs impact, real measurable impact on defense and ball movement and hustle plays in winning. And here's the brutal iron. Even all Angel Reese could absolutely get there. She could be the double-double machine with elite rebounding instincts, physical post play, and a revamped mid-range shot. She could be the defensive anchor her team desperately needs. She could even become the leader everyone assumed she already was. But right now she's stuck somewhere between hype and helplessness. And the fans, they're not dumb, they're not cruel, but they are paying attention, and attention as a currency that burns fast. When you're not backing it up, you can feel the shift already. Supporters turning into skeptics, stand going quiet. Comment section that used to be filled with fire emojis now fill with side eyes, and timestamps of her workplace is not hate, it's disappointment. Because they wanted to believe, they wanted her to be that girl, the one who walks the walk after talking all that talk, the one who silenced critics who their game, not her Twitter fingers. And now we're all sitting here watching the slow motion identity crisis play out in real time. So what does redemption even look like for Angel Reese? It doesn't look like a flashy combat game where she put up 20 and 15 and drops make at the press conference. It looks like control. It looks like 3 turnovers instead of 9. I like boxing out instead of chasing a stat, like fine in the open shooter instead of barreling into a triple team, like choosing a smart clean pass over sports, and a highlight that never lands. Redemption is not always loud. Sometimes it's boring, quiet consistency, the unsexy kind of growth that doesn't trend but wins games. But can she do that? Can she strip away the noise, the narrative, the pressure, and just focus on being better? That's the real test. Because if she humbled herself, locks in, and stopped trying to prove the world wrong with every possession, she might not to salvage her season, she might actually become great. But if she can't, if she keeps doubling down on facade, if she keeps prioritizing the brand over the box score, if she lets every good teach become a personal attack rather than professional challenge, then we already know how this ends. Another player would potential drowned by hype, a cautionary tale. Oh, what could have been with good PR and empty stat lines. And let's be real, Angel Reese deserves better than that, but she has to want it. For real, no one's rooting against her. In fact, most people are rooting for the idea of her, that raw, unapologetic, game-changing for that she could become. But that version of Angel doesn't come from TikTok edits or courtside cameras. It comes from grind, from accountability, from walking into the film room and saying, yeah, that was on me, let's fix it. So Angel, if you're listening, we don't want perfection, we want progress. You've already got the spotlight, now it's time to show as you can handle it, because his let it waits for no one when you're the moment people don't to celebrate your highlights. They study your mistakes. They don't just cheer your wins. They dissect your losses. They rewind your turnovers. They tweet your misses. And if you're not built for that, if you're not ready to carry all that weight with grace and grit, the very same spotlight that made you glow will melt you. And right now we are seeing a meltdown, not a loud, dramatic kind, no waterworks or walkouts. It's quieter, slower, more insidious, is the erosion of belief, not just from fans, but from her teammates, her coaches, even maybe herself. Because some were deep, and all this mess, you can tell she knows, you can see it, the hesitation in her passes, the frustration after another miss, les up. That pause before jogging back on defense is not just about box score anymore, it's about the confidence. And when that starts to crack, everything else does too. But here's where it gets real. This is a turning point right here, this exact moment. After the worst game of her career, after being dragged across the internet like a meme in sneakers, after fans, haters, and even casuals start whispering, maybe she's not built for this. This is where a story that steps in their power or fade into footnote territory. Because all the branding, all the media grooming, all the college cloud and charisma that get you in a room, but staying there, that takes evolution. Angel Real cannot play the same way she did in college and expect WNBA a little success. The game is too fast, too smart to cut throat. You think veteran defenders are going to fall for the same head fakes and soft bin moves. You think seasoned pros and a give her the paint just because she talks a big game. No, this is where the real work begins. And ironically, the worst game of our season might be the best thing that ever happened to her if she led to be, because sometimes the flop is a wake-up call, sometimes the embarrassment is a fire. We've seen this before. Plenty of rookies walk and thinking they're ready for the throne only to get humbled fast. But the greats, the true greats, they take that ill and study it, they break it down, they own it, they don't clap back on social media, they don't subtweet the coach, they don't blame the refs or the haters, begin the gym, they watch the film, and they work. So the question is, will Angel? Because here's what's wild. The raw material is there. She's got the size, the motor, the aggression. She wants it. You can tell she wants to dominate. She wants to prove the doubters wrong. She wants a lead to shine, to make headlines, and the right reasons. But right now, she's stuck in it. Loop, a pattern, a bad habit, shallow plays, and empty stats. And that loop, it'll kill your potential faster than any Twitter troll ever could. The truth is, you can only write charisma for so low.